Hello and welcome back to another vlog. My name's Philip Battle and I'm the admin for Born and Raised in Prescot, and I'm somewhere else. You'd never guess where I am today. Yes, I'm in Prescot at the one and only Elizabethan Fayre in Prescot. It's the 7th of May and yeah, I've had a little scout round to see what's going on. It's very interesting. I'm on a quest today to find out if there's anything actually Elizabethan about the Elizabethan Fayre, and and why is it called the Elizabethan Fayre? I need to say a bit about that, and I'll tell you the reason why. There's a lot of people turned out today, and it's a very nice day. It's a very sunny day here in Prescot, and I think people are generally chilling out to the ambience. It's a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Hopefully, we can see what's going on, and we can see how this relates to Prescot, or the history of Prescot, because yeah, that's what we do. Let's go and have a look. It's good to see Eccleston Street. There's got a bit of life in it these days. It reminds me of the olden days. Well, we had no life in the olden days. Everything was in black and white. Remember them? Okay, I've come down Eccleston Street now from the church there, and there's some stalls over here, and I think there's been some walkabout characters going down here that are supposed to be Elizabethan. I'm not quite sure though, because they look a bit odd. So I've just stopped here outside Poco Coffee. This is number 30 Eccleston Street, and on first glance you think, oh, look at them lovely buildings. They're very Tudor, they're very Elizabethan, but actually they're not, because the Elizabethan period ran from 1585 to 1603. This part of Poco Coffee, which was Hopping Bob's shop at one time, was built in 1614. That was the very year that the Globe was rebuilt. The Globe Theatre was rebuilt. It burnt down in 1613 and was rebuilt the following year in 1614. So there's the connection to Shakespeare, kind of. Yeah, so I've still not found anything Tudor or Elizabethan, indeed, in Prescot. But we'll carry on. We'll try and find something. I've seen some Tudor roses on the floor, some stickers. But it's not actually authentic. So let's see if we can find something that is authentically Tudor about Prescot. Come on. Okay, we're walking down Eccleston Street looking for something Tudor. But you might be surprised to know that Eccleston Street here is in its own right, as a street, Tudor. In fact, it goes back before the Tudors, because this is the original Market Town Road. And the thing about Prescot is, if you want to find something Tudor, you might not find a building, you might not find a real artifact, but you will find the streets, and the way the streets are laid out in Prescot has been described in the past by historians as the best preserved medieval street plan for a market town, certainly in the northwest. And if you travel around the country and look at similar towns to the size of Prescot, they have a similar layout where the market and the evolves around the church, which is St Mary's at the bottom, and it spans out from there. And so this Eccleston Street in itself has probably been around for about 800 years. People have trod this street. It's fascinating, that, isn't it? So there's a bit of Tudor history for you, medieval history even. So we're looking for the Elizabethan Fayre to see what there is, and there doesn't seem to be much going on here, apart from some streamers in a tree. Okay, there's some interesting facts about the Tudor period versus the Elizabethan period. I can't get my head around why this is called an Elizabethan Fayre, because it actually only spans, the Elizabethan period only actually spans 45 years of English history. Queen Elizabeth came to the throne in 1558, and she actually died in 1603. So that's the Elizabethan period. So 45 years basically. The Tudor period, on the other hand, if you were to call it a Tudor Fayre, well, there's more history in the Tudor Fayre, because the Tudor Fayre started with Henry Tudor when he defeated Richard III on Bosworth Field in 1485. So it spans that period, and Henry Tudor was Henry VII, and he was the father of Henry VIII. Yeah, he was the first Tudor king. So there's a longer period of time, the Tudor period. So it is a bit of a mystery. I mean, everyone's enjoying themselves, but it's not kind of like I've yet to find anything that I could say was authentically Tudor. They've got stalls here that have nothing Elizabethan on them or Tudor on them, and they've got things that are tentatively linked to the Tudor period. I suppose it's a feel that they're trying to recreate. They've got Tudor roses on the floor. That the Tudor rose was marked the end of the War of the Roses, because there were the white rose and the red rose, and so Henry Tudor combined the two roses and turned them into a Tudor rose, which we can see here, the white and the red rose. So there was peace in the land. The Tudor, you wonder why people go on about the Tudor period, but it was largely because it was a peaceful period, but it was the making of modern Britain in many respects. The Tudors made Britain what it is today, and also they were a very flamboyant lot. They're very kind of like, these are some of the stalls that we've got along Eccleston Street today, which are quite interesting. It's nice to see the kind of market feel, the old market feel that we used to have in Prescot with the mug fair and stuff like that. This is like an upmarket mug fair, if you like. So yeah, that's good. It's good to see that. The links with William Shakespeare are a bit more tentative, because there's nothing written down to say he actually appeared in Prescot. But historians, being historians, they use circumstantial evidence to say that he must have been in Prescot, because he was actually a member of Lord Essex's troop, and in 1589 the Lord Essex's troupe appeared at Knowsley Hall, and he was a member of that troupe, so it makes sense that he must have appeared in Prescot. It's also said he wrote and performed A Midsummer's Night's Dream for the marriage of the 4th Earl of Derby of his daughter. During the period between 1585 and 1592, Shakespeare is said to also have appeared at Rufford Hall, which isn't far from Prescot, and it makes sense that he must have appeared at the only purpose-built theatre outside of London, which was in Prescot. So that's how historians deduce that Shakespeare must have played in Prescot. The Queen's Players, whom Shakespeare was also a member of, frequently visited Knowsley Hall. So it's very conceivable that he did appear in Prescot. And so it's only appropriate that if that's the case, and it's the only theatre of its kind built outside of London, then we must have a theatre here. And that's what we've got. Which opens in July, by the way. And you can book a performance if you live in Prescot for as little as £3. £3 to go to the theatre. That's cheap, isn't it? So there you go, a little potted history on the Elizabethans and why the Elizabethan Fayre is a bit of a misnomer. I would prefer to call it the Fayre of the Prescot Court Leet, which would be more interesting, I think, because it would cover at least 800 years of history of Prescot. If you called it the Prescot Court Leet Fayre, you could bring in more of an historic value to Prescot and something unique to Prescot. So I'm going to start a campaign to change the Elizabethan Fayre into the Prescot Court Leet Fayre. What do you think about that? Think it'd work? I think it would. So yeah, it's fascinating to be here today, to see all of this going on, and I hope you enjoyed your little history lesson. Story catchers. Okay. And you catch stories. You walk around the streets and you do.
We are trying to recover the story of Prescot because we happen to delete the whole story of Prescot. Well, actually, they did. It wasn't my fault.
No, it was maybe
You deleted.
It was
the whole story of
It
Prescot.
was an accident.
But
right.
don't worry, you're in good hands. We're going around catching all the gossip, all the stories. We have it all.
Oh, I see.
We've been collecting lots of stories. There was a hairdresser who used to drink down the high street a few years ago. It was quite a while ago. Used to drink while cutting hair.
Oh, right.
Well, I have somebody that is sure that he saw a ghost in Poco.
Oh.
And, not to mention that Ferdinand Stanley apparently invited Shakespeare to Prescot on a holiday. That's an actual story I've been told.
The Weatherspoons used to be a supermarket called Quicksaver.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes.
well, everybody knows about the second street, the second thinner street.
Yes.
Yeah,
I tried to go into that.
yeah, he tried to get in, but he didn't fit in.
We
What other
met
stories
the
we
real people that own the tattoo studios just off the high street there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What else can I say about Prescot?
Do you know about Richard Bowers? Has anyone talked about Richard Bowers to you?
No, but please tell us.
Richard
about
Bowers.
it.
Richard Bowers.
Yes. Richard Bowers.
Richard
In
Bowers.
well, between 1538 and 1558, he was found by the Prescot Court Leet to be guilty of making a midden on the streets of Prescot. Yes, he was making a midden on the streets of Prescot, and he was told not to do it. Right? And they said if he carried on doing it, he would be thrown out of the town. But he carried on doing it. No. Yes, he carried on making a midden on the street, and he made one here in Marketplace, and he also washed his puddings in the well. It was just here. Yes, he had puddings in the well. Isn't that disgusting?
Puddings
That's
in the
him.
well?
Yes, Richard Bowers. Hey, what's the theatre company?
We are Teatro Pomodoro.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Lovely.
We're here with Elizabethan Fayre.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see you.
In Prescott.
It's great to see you. Very colourful characters, and I love you walkabout and stuff like that. It's really
Thank you
good.
very
It's
much.
been adds a lot of atmosphere to the event.
Exactly.
I'm sure you do.
Really
Yes.
good.
They're spectacular. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Great to meet you.
Thank you. Okay, it's the end of route, and it's quite appropriate that I should be stood outside basically what is the oldest pub in Prescot, the Sun Inn. It's not Elizabethan, it's not even Tudor, but it is Georgian. It's a Georgian building, probably about the 1750s this was built. It's a beautiful pub, by the way. I hope you've enjoyed that video. I'm quite disappointed, to be honest, because it is called an Elizabethan Fayre. No, there's not really much Elizabethan about it, you know. It's themed, I suppose. It's more of like a theme fair. But historically speaking, yeah, it's quite disappointing. And to pick the Elizabethan period, I don't know who dreamt up the name Elizabethan Fayre. It would have been much better to call it a Tudor Fair. But for my own estimation, I would have preferred it to be a fair of the Court Leet, so a Court Leet Fair, which would take in the 800 years of history. That would have been more appropriate to Prescot. And there are many examples of Court Leet Fairs around the country, and they still celebrate that heritage. And I think Prescot should be celebrating its heritage more than a make-and-do Elizabethan Fair. I don't personally, although people are having fun and it's great for Prescot, I don't think it does justice to the history of Prescot. But that's just my own opinion, and I'm entitled to it. So if you've enjoyed this video, thanks for watching. Next time, and it's appropriate that I'm here, I'll be visiting one of Shakespeare's old drinking haunts, a town well known for being a drinking town, as Prescot was in Elizabethan times, where it had over 20 pubs, and there were complaints from the Court Leet about drinking in Prescot. So join me next time on that journey. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye now. He woke up after a binge one night. The next day he woke up, and all he could say about the town is that this is a drinking town. Now, I've heard that described about Prescot many times. So in very many ways it is like a medieval Prescot.